you can be constantly, nothing is enough, right? Where you're just constantly, you need that validation in order to still feel like it. And so if you're still stuck there, if he learns the skills, I think, in the right way and understand, like, I still think that it's, in that process that you're going to, you're going to become more confident.
And women literally have to worry about getting murdered and they still go on dates.
Yeah.
And so when men are like, I get being frustrated because everybody's entitled to be frustrated. Right. They're entitled to voice their opinions on their own experiences. Yeah. I get that. As a woman, we genuinely have to be afraid, like I said, at every step of every sort of relationship with a man. Yeah. Am I going to get murdered? Well, and we still do it anyway.
Every one of those cases, right, that you're talking about, those mass shootings, it's been an incel guy. It's been a guy that can't get laid. It's been a guy that's been bullied and picked on. It's been a guy that has a victim mindset and has not stepped up and learned how to be a man, right? Has not faced his fears, has not done those things. He has not developed himself. Yeah.
But what about the TikTok guy? I'm not saying he doesn't still fall into that, but he was popular on TikTok. I'm sure he got attention.
Yeah. No. But you saw his comments, or I'm assuming it was him, maybe it was some joker, but you saw how he responded to people still trying to get attention. Still insecure. So insecure.
Didn't fulfill his needs, getting the attention on TikTok. He had to still look for it.
Mm-hmm. Because no amount of attention someone gives you can make you secure.
Okay, well then how does sleeping with a woman give him the confidence to not murder people?
How does a guy that learns how to pick up women and whatnot?
Yeah.
Because it's not about sleeping with the women. It's about what he learns about himself in the process of doing that, of facing his fears and realizing he's okay. It's about the actual approach. Like a guy going on a dating app and matching on girls wouldn't have the same effect, right? It has the effect because he went and faced his fear and he overcame it, and he knows that he can do that anytime. He can overcome his fear. He has value of
What about
himself.
the men who get stuck in that cycle, though? And they're still insecure.
Yeah, that's a problem. That you got to get off that trail.
What happens
because
then?
You have to shift the validation from external to internal, because you can, external validation will never give you internal validation. So at some point you have to say, okay, look, I've done it. I've proved myself. I got it. I'm good. Right?
So a man could have external validation, but if he doesn't have internal, he might murder you.
I guess so. Because look, most men go out, right, when they're trying to get laid, right, or whatever, they're going through whatever phase, in order to prove something to someone or to themselves, or to see that they're valuable, right, or and so you can be constantly, nothing is enough, right? Mm-hmm. Where you're just constantly, you need that validation in order to still feel like it. And so if you're still stuck there, then you're going to feel like so you kind of trapped me, because I just realized that you're saying, well, if a guy is so he can learn those skills.
I didn't mean to trap you.
And still murder. Yeah, so it's true. But if he learns the skills, I think, in the right way and understand, I still think that it's, in that process that you're going to, you're going to become more confident. I think there are some guys that could still have extremely fragile egos and not have, feel like it's all luck, right?
I wasn't trying to trap you.
No, I know.
I'm just trying to also.
I just realized it myself.
Explain how women have to be, right? You don't ever feel 100% sure unless you're in a very intimate and deeply connected relationship, like you and I are. You really just don't ever know. Well,
but that's why, to a degree, game exists, is because women vet men very carefully. So when you're having a conversation with a guy, if he were to come up to you and start talking to you in a club, it's you're seeing how he handles himself socially. You're like, okay, he might be attractive, but how does he talk? Okay, has he had experience with women? Does he feel like he's insecure and he's, is hiding something? Does it feel like he needs validation, or that if someone didn't like him, he would like, does he have that's why confidence is attractive. Because someone who's confident, right?
It's not psycho.
Someone
normally.
breaks up with them, they're not like, I need to kill them. Right. So it really comes down to the confidence. Because if you have confidence, you're not going, you're not going psycho.
Because you have confidence knowing that you can find somebody else or there's a better person out there for you in that instance. Yeah. So, I mean, another part of this topic that really gets me thinking is that men are so afraid to date American women because they'll lose all their stuff or they'll get a divorce or whatever. And women literally have to worry about getting murdered and they still go on dates.
Yeah.
And so when men are like, I get being frustrated because everybody's entitled to be frustrated. They're entitled to like voice their opinions on their own experiences. I get that. But as a woman, like we genuinely have to be afraid, like I said, at every step of every sort of relationship with a man. Am I going to get murdered? Well, and we still do it anyway.
Yeah. Okay. The murdered thing. Okay. It's more, you hear about more story, right? The actual chance of getting murdered by a man is extremely low. It's the actual chance of getting murdered, period, is extremely low, right? So it's definitely higher, right? Than getting murdered by a woman. Right. But being assaulted, being raped, being, attacked, high for sure. That and
women still date.
Right. So that I would say. But I think if you say murder, then you lose a lot of ears because that's not an accurate.
Well, you lose your life if you get murdered.
Yeah,
so
I know. But
it's the ultimate price to pay. Like if you get divorced, you lose half your stuff, but you're still alive. What I'm trying to say is that if we pay the ultimate price, which their ultimate price is getting a divorce, but we're no longer alive.
Well, but which is more, it's much more likely that you're going to get a divorce than you're going to get murdered by your spouse.
I mean, you're only likely to get a divorce if you quickly got into a relationship that you really had no business being in at all. Because most people can fix their relationship and it doesn't go straight to divorce, but it involves the man. Just as much as it involves the woman.
But more than half of marriages end in divorce. So, I mean, it's you're I agree
I understand,
with you. I agree with
that's easily fixable.
Yeah,
you're not easily be able to fix somebody from murdering you. Well, they walk into your house with a gun. How are you going to fix that? Unless you got your gun.
Being careful of who you, but I see what you're saying is because if you're just dating someone, is that you don't have to make a commitment to someone for them. But
exactly.
But the percentage chance of being killed by a man increases with the with the relationship status, right?
Great.
You're going to be closer to him.
That's true. But some
a guy
also
that you just randomly
kill
date
people.
is not going to, it could happen, but he's just a killer. It's not he's a
scorned lover.
Exactly.
I mean, it could be
the scorned lover situation is the.
But I mean, that's, I guess the thing too is like men don't think about being murdered by other men because there's plenty of men who shoot up places.
It depends on where you're at, right? Like what your situation is and where you live. Like, there are definitely places where, but in general.
I'm talking about like the kids that shoot up schools, which are typically white males, shoot up churches, typically white males.
Right.
Or like a movie theater or all those things. Like those people are also just killing, they're men that are killing not just women at this point too, but anyone that's near there. Like, what are men doing to help other men not be murderers? I guess is what
they're rushing you out of the Chase building before someone comes and kills everyone.
Yeah, I mean, but I'm saying like,
no. What are men doing to stop other men? That's
how
what, like,
can we help these men that are?
Yeah, we teach
this?
them to man the fuck up, right? To stop being boys and to be men. Because every one of those cases, right, that you're talking about, those mass shootings, it's been an incel guy. It's been a guy that can't get laid. It's been a guy that's been bullied and picked on. It's been a guy that has a victim mindset and has not stepped up and learned how to be a man, right? Has not faced his fears, has not done those things. He has not developed himself, right? So it's weird because those guys actually need tough love, not bullying that drives them, but a guy being you shut the fuck up and get, you know,
that sounds a little bully.
That's not bullying. That's like, that's encouragement for a man, right? You know what I mean? It's like, shut the fuck up and do what you need to do. Like, stop being a pussy. Like, that's encouragement.
As a woman, I would think that he's going to come murder me because I said that.
No, I mean, if you tell that to a man.
I'm not saying I would say that as a woman.
I tell that to a man.
But I'm saying, even if I was a guy telling another guy that was fragile like that, I'd be afraid to be murdered.
Because there's a certain thing, like, it's how you're saying it. It's like, you know, that it's like saying you're tough enough to handle this, and I know it because I got you. Like, I see you, right? That's what it, like. There's a way to do it where it is just abusive and just picking on someone, right? You could say those same words, right? But it's like, you know.
Well, maybe if you're like, come on, like, you can do this, like, don't be. I'm not going to say the word.
Like, yeah, don't be a pussy. Like, that's like, but you can't say it like that either. That's like that's not real. It's like, you got to really. That
doesn't help to be like, you can do it.
You got to be like really mean it. Like,
I mean, I'm not. I'm just saying the words. I'm not saying that I would talk like that, but personally.
Yeah, I mean, every call when I have new people coming into the coaching, I'm like, there's, you know, on the weekly calls, this is what I tell them. I'm like, there's 3 reasons. You know, 3 things that you states you're in. Either you don't know what to do, you don't know how to do it, or you can't get yourself to do it. And I said, if you don't know what to do, I'll tell you what to do. If you don't know how to do it, I'll help you figure out how to do it. And if you can't get yourself to do it, I'll fucking kick your ass and make you do it. And they're like, they like that part because that's what they want. They want someone to kick their ass and make them do it. I was telling you about Rob that I was on the phone with, and he's like, I'll pay $10,000 to call me a pussy and to make me fucking work. I mean, he's reading a lot of David Goggins books right now, but it's a thing. It's true. But men need guidance by other men to become men so that they don't do these things. Because a man that has confidence, that knows who he is, has success with women, he doesn't go and do this stupid shit because he has more. He doesn't want to throw his life away.
The scary thing is, though, that like you can't force a man to do the things. You can't force a man to better himself. You can't force a man to become a man.
Right.
So like, we just have to hope and pray that they take the initiative.
I mean, they watch my content or they like, or whatever, you know, like some people come through whatever avenues.
Yeah. I mean, it's really sad that anybody would feel like they could take someone else's life just because they don't want to be with them or something like that. Yeah. And that man not only took her life, but the person that she was with.
Yeah. So
as a man too, does that not also make you feel like now men get a little taste of it, right?
Yeah.
That's just a little piece of it. Women have to constantly be afraid that they're going to get murdered, even at the phone number part. But men only get the part where, am I with a woman where her ex would murder me? That's the only time they can experience what women experience all the time with men.
Yeah.
And how does that seem?
That's why it's like a crazy ex is a red flag for men dating a woman. Is like
a crazy ex guy is definitely a red flag.
Yeah, that's like a whoa. It's one of my coaching clients. He was just talking about this woman that's from Mexico or something, and her ex-boyfriend was a drug dealer or something, and he went to jail. And I was like, yeah, stay away from that shit. Like, no, sir. I don't care how good she looks. She's off the table. Nope. Not goodbye.
Yeah. That is definitely rolling the dice.
Call me when you're in the witness protection program.